Put aside 850,000 rand to create a lifeline for 160,000 poor children in the province. The department will be launching a program next week which will see poor children enrolled for groceries, school transport, bursaries and dignity packs. The program will also support sport-inclined children and also offer free education at all state schools and uniform. Now, to give us more details on the initiative, we're joined in our studio by Acting MEC for Gauteng Social Development Department, Panyaza Lesufi. So thank you as always for joining us here on SABC News. I'm used to you in your role as MEC for Gauteng Education, but I understand you're doing both now. Oh, yes, right, that's fantastic. So this is a nice story as we sort of go into the festive season, the giving Christmas spirit. Talk to us, sir, about this program.
Thanks, Flo. You know, December is cruel for the poor. With everyone being excited, those that are poor and vulnerable, they have nothing to share. So as a Gauteng provincial government, we felt that let's have a program that is sustainable, that is not your day-to-day rhetoric, that is practical and that can identify people that need help. So we said let's start with children because children are vulnerable, especially child-aided children or families, or you have children that are in distress, or children that are going through abuse, or children that are indeed starving because of poverty. So we then introduced this program, the anti-poverty strategy, which is targeting at urban poverty in Gauteng. So for the basket of services, we want all our children just to use one application and get all services. As you said it in our intro, it's an 850 million program for the Department of Social Development if you exclude other departments. So children will get school uniform, they will get bursaries, they will be given dignity packs, and those dignity packs have all those things. They've got your roll-ons, face cloth, sanitary towels, lotions, so that the child that is poor cannot be different from any other child. And we still continue to provide social grants. We'll also ensure that those that are traveling long distance, they get transport to go to school. But you can see it's removing them from dependency to independence. And that's the reason why you see a strong element of skills as well, where we're saying when you pass your post-matric, we'll give you a 4-year bursary for you to go and study. So we really believe we need to start to think about a Gauteng without social grants, a Gauteng that can protect our children, and a Gauteng that is safe for our own children. So this program, we are quite excited to unveil it. So on Thursday, all the children that benefit will then be invited so that they can know that they can access these benefits.
I mean, I can imagine that this will be a bit of a logistical headache of some sort.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're covering the entire Gauteng and you now must identify those children that are vulnerable, how are the plans actually going as you plan to sort of launch this program, and how will you be really making sure that those children that need to be, or the learners that need to be targeted for this program actually get what they need?
Well, we're using what we say one window program, which simply means that we're using the ICT of government and databases of government. So we're plugging in. The Department of Education is going to give us children that are getting social school nutrition, for example, and we know these are the children that need help. The Department of Health will say, these are children that came to our clinics or to our hospitals, but we can't give them medication because they don't have food. Then they will come in. And then we are using pastors to say, at my church, these are the people that I really believe need assistance. Community development workers, social workers. So we are relying on communities to identify the children. But we are going to launch on Thursday a call center number where ordinary South Africans and ordinary people can say, in my area, I know a child that is going through difficulties. Can you provide the assistance? I mean, we're also giving a month-long grocery every month until the child turns 18. And we're also putting what we call off-school calendar support. For example, if during school holidays, with the partners that we have, we'll give them employment. So there's an element of moving them away from handouts, ensure that we've got a program as part of growing Gauteng together.
All right, I see here a link then between, you know, the department you're used to being in, the Gauteng Education Department, and of course the Social Development. And are there many, as you spoke about earlier, there are many child-headed households. Yeah. And I'd like to talk about that link to the fact that these children that are heading, or these learners that are heading their households, how does it then affect the fact that they don't have, food and all of that that you mentioned, how does it then affect them and the cycle continues in terms of their education and their prospects of, continuing and finishing off, school?
That is why education is an entry point.
Yeah.
There must be no child that is outside the education system. So we'll only identify them if they come into education. Even if they are child-aided, but they must go to school. Because if you don't do that, then the poverty will be forever. Education is the only tool that will assist us to break that poverty shackle. That is why we're even bringing sports facilities. Because there are some children that are talented sport-wise, but they don't have what? For example, they don't have a sport bra. They don't have soccer boots. They don't have a cricket bat. So we're providing that free of charge to those children so that their talent is not interrupted and they can continue their life. So we felt that let us not be all over to say that we want to assist poor people. Let's start with the child. If we start with the child, it will take us to the family. If it takes us to the family, it will take us to a community. So the program is targeting children in Gauteng, and we already believe now there will be no single child this Christmas that will have a Black Christmas, because the products that we are providing are products that will take children out of poverty.
All right, Tate Panyaza, I'm a neighbor of a poor child. Let's just say I'm watching this program now and thinking, I actually know a child that will need these kinds of services. How do they then get hold of Tate Lesufi's office?
Yeah, on Thursday, our call center goes live, and our website also will be available. But you can go to any regional office of the Department of Social Development to bring and register that particular child. But we're encouraging people to call us because when they call us, we know they are our eyes and ears, and our social workers will go then do a profile. And when they qualify, all these services will be made available to that child. All
right, and of course we'll indeed do our best as SABC to spread that message, and of course I no doubt we will be attending that launch. Thank you very much for coming to join us. Panyaza Lesufi, of course, is the Acting MEC for Gauteng Social Development, but the MEC for Gauteng Education, of course. Well, education in South Africa has become a big business.